because through electricity. It just caused it, just flashing it all out. And you're sitting there watching the 3D thing. We're talking 60 years ago this was done. They could do it today, but they won't. Because they want to sell you television. But also, that the people upstairs in the industry basically hate the 3D thing because, well, by the time you get this, you'll have known that they canceled the 3D version of Harry Potter.
Oh, they did?
Didn't want to spend $50 million more to do it. So, because the majority, I think 9 out of 10 3D projects don't make it. They just lose money. I mean, so...
Well, because it does add a lot to the production cost.
It adds 1/3. If you're doing it After Effects, after it does 1/3, it adds 1/3 more. And if you do it before, you through with the 3D cameras, basically at the moment, you're basically getting a camera with a Sony lens that's like this, and equipment that's like this, and it runs you like an ungodly amount of money every day. I think it adds 1/3 up front, 1/3 back front, which means the film is 2/3 too expensive.
Oh, that's a lot.
This, what we did last night, what I finished up last night has virtually no expense to it whatsoever, just time. That's somebody that didn't have anything better to do in his life but to sit there and play with the effects.
Oh no, because you also have an animation background too.
Yeah, so I sit there.
And he loves to play with all of this. But see, part of it is he has a base of knowledge that most people don't have.
Yeah, I played around. I'm thinking since '52 I've been playing in 3D. I've actually been in front of the camera on them. And so I've sat there and seen the asinine stuff that they do to make the thing work. I mean, we're talking basically, you know, Guy Madison is out there, and Guy Madison is basically shooting at the Indians, who are now shooting arrows and throwing lances. Of course, while they were chasing them, we all had rifles. But when we got to the charge at the river, the rifles vanished, and we're doing like this. We're throwing things, and you got to watch it because it's got one of the most ridiculous scenes in the world, where you see some of the actors with their rifles doing this to the lances that are being thrown in. They got rifles, they got bullets in them instead of because they're doing like this to knock the things away. Why? Because it looks good with the cameras, you know, because they got the camera setting. Then they had to do it more than once because they're doing it face on. But then they want to have it the other direction, so they got it this way, so they're knocking them away. But as my father said, well, why didn't you just shoot the SOB? And then Guy Madison said, well, because that's not what they want. So, it's dumb. And the guy in the gorilla...
Well, it doesn't have the same effect when you're watching it.
Okay, you're doing like this with your rifle, bang, that has no effect whatsoever. But when you're knocking lances, they were knocking arrows away too. And then you got the old guy getting stuck with the lance, the old guy getting stuck with the arrow. And they had to do that from 2 Cs, you know, multiple things, which added to the cost because the camera had to be in front and the camera had to be in back, which means it's a total different setup. Because it's just not like on a movie where you can basically... You know, you do the charge this way, and you do it all at once this way. And then you do the charge from the back, you do it all at once. No, every position where the stuff was being done, it was a total separate camera setup, which made, the movie couldn't have made money at that time. And, you know, and like I said, the same problem plagued it then. This, though, 3D, true 3D, does not need glasses. It looks just as good without the glasses. So... it means it's a money saver, and it's you know, if you want to do, you could do. We may end up shooting a longer piece when we get the people to work on it in the system. And it basically does work. But you know, this is a plug for True 3D. I mean, you're gonna like it. And she's wearing her glasses and her two-tone outfit to make the plug officially. We officially start the film circuit rounds. You know, we're going to get it into a theater somewhere, you know, so we can get it qualified for Academy Award stuff as fast as we can. I don't know. It may not be this year, it would be next year. I mean, it'll be for the next year thing, but it will be on the film circuit, and then we're going to have excerpts. We're going to have a short excerpt on Daily Motion because we can't put it on YouTube. I mean, you know, we may put it over on Vimeo also, the same clip. But it's going to be a short clip because we can only do X amount, so otherwise it ends up, they say you released it on the TV first.
No, we can't.
we're going to do the commercials, which is basically to demonstrate. We may do a demonstration, for instance, to show you how it was done.
Well, part of it is we'll probably look at it backwards, because if the intent is for the Academy Awards, we look at when it has to be in.
I think it has to be in for the shorts last month.
Right.
But anytime I can get it in now will be for
next year?
For next year. And we're going to start, we missed most of the film festival stuff to this point. But we'll probably stick it over in, we probably will enter it in Cannes and the Venice Film Festival.
Ooh.
Yeah, because it's just, our animation department says, well, actually we have been told by the people that have seen it in Europe that it's one god-awful, brilliant piece of work. Mm-hmm. She likes it. Well, she basically,
and like I said, I was mesmerized by it. I kept wanting to watch it over and over and over.
It's all got to do, it's the movement. This is where, in France they called it the mise-en-scene, everything within the frame of the picture. There was, it's just like Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey going on in the picture. Things that you don't see are floating through the picture. When you put the glasses on, what you see with the 3D glasses is not what is there in 2D. Mm-hmm. It totally wipes out a lot of the color, a lot of the artwork that is done in 2D is gone in 3D, yet it's the very same thing. It just like it takes, it just threw it out. And then the 3D is, it's solid. You got, you see her dancing with herself, which was a great piece of artwork there, because it's not, there's a difference between picture and picture. Is that, and we not only have picture in picture, we have picture in picture and ghost images are the same thing. And the music is all mashed up, which basically, the picture in picture is two different sets of video. Mm-hmm. And the movement is, it basically is sort of really difficult to get. I can generally get it within a second on sound and stuff. This had to be one picture. The action had to be exactly perfect to make the ghost images look like they're doing, because if you see, it's all going to be drifting. Everything is drifting in and out of the frame, and it has to drift exactly in the same second. There is no second delay. It has to be. If your hand does this, both hands have to do this. If you're doing this, both have to do it exactly the same time, because the music is cued to both sets. So, and it's not, well, all you have to do is just overdub. Well, no. Because if you pay any attention, it's also a wall of sound. Mm-hmm. Which means it's music on top of music. And the music has to be, you can't just slide it over just a fraction, because then it's not right. It's 21 pieces of percussion instrument. Music, basically it is the old 1960s wall of sound which gives it its effect. And it's actually, it's a riff. It's basically, like this, and then it's a repetition, but the repetition basically is done in such a manner that it meets, every movement has got a note to go with it, every movement. And when she changes, for some reason, about 2.5 minutes through, she, I guess I wasn't paying a lot of attention, but she changed total style.
It did?
Well, yeah, all of a sudden she's going...
The music must have changed.
And when she changes style, Serdog then took the same piece of music and changed the style with the same instruments to meet, because there is a fade to where when she changes the style, the music all of a sudden, this very same music, it all of a sudden changes its beat just a little bit to match with the new. And I think she was also starting to get tired about that time too, so... Because that's not something she's really used to doing. But we did the whole thing, the whole picture shoot took about 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And that's what we had to do it in.
But most of it was all special effects.
It's all special effects. It's what can be done. It's what can be done with 3D. We're looking at doing, with a lot of people we know, probably a horror movie in it. Yeah, a horror movie with a lot of well-known people. Some of them actually have been movies that have been nominated for Academy Awards, or some of the top grossing movies ever made. but I'm looking into that right now to do like a 70-minute thing shot in real time. We're talking 70 minutes shot in 70 minutes. Not 71, not 72, but a 70 minutes in 70 minutes, because it's all going to be, you know, bloop, 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 bloop. You know, if anybody's ever seen Rope, which is basically an Alfred Hitchcock thing shot in almost real time, that's going to be it. The camera's going to be fluid, moving around. The camera's going to move once again. I mean, as you might say, I went to college. When I was in college, basically the French cinema was very big. You had to be all, I mean, Francois Truffaut. I mean, I met Francois Truffaut. I can speak English better than I can. Well, go look at him in Close Encounter of the Third Time. You know he speaks English quite well. He speaks it with that great accent, which basically drove all the teenage girls in the classes crazy. So, but and then he could get him to basically do anything in the movies because of that accent of his, which tend to vanish when he's talking to the guys.
Amazing.
Yeah, but in French cinema, which they basically they created the term the mise en scene, which is everything within the frame. Everything is going to be, in the little horror film, everything is going to be there for a reason. And the camera is basically going to float through the scene. Camera basically is going, the cameraman's going to be moving. The cameraman, in a sense, becomes part of the picture, even though you never see the cameraman, because in the early days of cinema, the camera went to the people. You know, because if that's the only movement they had was the camera moved, you know, because they basically couldn't, they didn't have rail systems. So if you wanted to have a moving shot, the cameraman had to pick up the thing and lug it and carry it around. That's why when you get turns and things like that, today they basically have a rail system or a crab dolly, which allows the camera to move more and more. But the system is so big and intrusive, you can't set that down in a small, intimate area. And this is going to be in a small area. It's going to be like in a room. And the camera will move. And the camera, so, but that's going to be our next 3D thing. But we want people, we'll let people know in advance what theaters and where the thing is going to be playing, so you can come out, and we want your opinion, because I think, basically, you're definitely going to get to see the Bikini Czars you've never seen the Bikini Czar before. Yes. You know, and we think you're going to like it. And, you know, well, you know, she'd talk more about it, because she's basically in on the ground floor of True 3D. I mean, she's seen all the steps that we have been making, that we've been showing people right along, you know, the things. We've had baby steps to get to this point. And she'd been, you know, some of it's been her avatar, some of it's been her. But it really is nice. I mean, I think it is. I mean, like I said, I got wow from, let's put it this way, the granddaughter of a much awarded person who's been in the industry for like six, 7 decades, is no longer with us. Basically, she destroyed the copy she had, watching the thing over. Well, it wasn't meant, it's not meant to be. It's I sent a computer thing over so they could look at it, and they ran the thing so many times where, you know, they basically would stop it, start it, stop it, start it, run it through, stop it, start it. It denigrated my video. I denigrated the copy that I was looking at, and I sat there 2 hours looking at it this morning.
That's when you make a copy and keep watching the copy over and over and over.
Yeah. And she'll have her copy, and you'll see. You know, but I mean, like I said, she's not talking because she's stuck in her wow about the
I know, I am.
Yeah.
Well, because.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just she didn't think it could be done.
I know, and every time it's like the more I look at it, the more amazed I am, and the more, and like I said, I was mesmerized.
And that's the whole trick with it. It is a piece of artwork that we think that will probably end up being. Basically, it's not a kiddie piece of artwork, because it's meant for the adults out there, folks.
It's an art piece.
It's an art piece to show you what could be done with it, because I didn't want to have, I did not want to have problems with having too much to deal with at one time, because like I said, so it's an art piece, but it'll probably be something that will be sent around, you know, so that people that want to sell their TV sets can send it around and show you this is the future of 3D.